Okay, so what we have here written is y equals negative 2x minus 2. So we want to know, can we graph this? Can we graph this equation? So the thing that's going to determine if you could graph it is by writing y equals mx plus b. All right, so go ahead and write y equals mx plus b. And yeah, put a box on b, so that's a number, and then m is a number. Okay, so what you're supposed to be doing, this is you're supposed to, you know that this is your starting point. So 0 comma negative 2, that's your starting point. Okay. So on your question where it says, what is your y-intercept? That's your starting point. You're going to put 0 comma negative 2, which I seen some of you guys had done that. Sarah, Jonathan, Eileen, Melissa, some of you guys just put negative 2. That's fine. Enrique Soto, that's correct. You put I don't know, but you did it right. Sarai. Nathan Sanchez, make sure you put 0 negative 2. Okay. Matthew Sanchez, you said I think. Yep, it is 0 negative 2. You are correct. Yaneli, I don't know. Yeah, it's 0 negative 2. You are correct. And Vivian, that's all the answers I have. Whoever didn't write the answer, go ahead and do so, please. Thank you very much. So now, what on the graph, you don't have to draw this, but on the graph, this is your y-intercept. So you got to put a dot on the y-intercept that is negative 2, but it's 0, negative 2. So for example, here's your y-intercept, right? So where's negative 2? Right there. So go ahead and put a dot on your graph. You should have a little dot, which is 0, negative 2, a point. Okay? Dot. It doesn't matter what you call it. All right? Cool? So now you want your m. So remember, you have to turn this in because I want to see the work. And is delta y over delta x. Remember, change of y over change of x. A lot of you guys have learned about rise over run, but that confuses kids because they're always rising run and they just get distorted. So remember, the change of y is, yes, rise, but if it's negative, you're falling. So we draw an arrow up and down. Now the run, yeah, you run forward, but if it's negative, you got to run backwards. So that's why we put the lines like this. So what is your m? Your m is negative 2. Right? Right here, your m is negative 2, but you're going to put over 1 because negative 2 over 1 is negative 2. Do not put negative 2 over negative 2. That is not 1, negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. So that is totally wrong. Okay? So now from there, on your graph, you're going to go down because look, you're not rising, you're falling. It's a negative. So you're falling. You're going down. Oh, wait. And then you're going to run to the right because it's positive. So again, negative 2, 1. Negative 2 down, right 1. So go ahead and do that real quick. Go ahead and do that. Some of you guys already did it, which is great. All right, so I'm going to pause the video. So now I'm going to record it. So now again, so on this graph, because you're going down, you got to go down. So watch what I do. 1, 2, and then 1 to the right. 1, 2, and then 1 to the right. 1, 2, and then 1 to the right. Do about 3, then you do the opposite. The opposite is up 2, 1, 2, and then to the left. Up 2, 1, 2, and then to the left, and that should be giving you a straight line. Okay, you should have a line like this, straight line. All right. So make sure you finish it so you can get points. We'll go ahead if you're not. So now what do? That's your equation. So like what we did with the other problem, we wrote y equals mx plus b to see if we can graph it. Yeah, it is in y equals mx plus b form. So now I'm going to go ahead and what? Put a box over the b. and the M. Okay? So there's your M and your B. Remember, your question says, what's the slope? Right? So here's your M. You could do this. M equals the change in Y over the change of X. See that? The change of Y over the change of X. Okay? Change of Y over change of X. Right? So then what is it? 7 over 1. Remember, that's rise over run, but it's positive. So yeah, on this one we're going to rise, and because the 1 is positive, we're going to run forward. That's going to be when we move, okay? So now, what's your starting point? What's your y-intercept? Remember, why is it called y-intercept? Because the line crosses the y-axis, all right? The line crosses the y-axis. That's why it's called the y-intercept. So what is it? -3. So -3. So it's 0, -3. Never put 7 over -3. That's not it, that doesn't make sense, right? 7, just because the two numbers are there doesn't mean you put this number over that number. Okay? So let's check that out. All right, real quick. So let me think. So again, if you look at my drawing, you don't have to draw this. You're going to do this in the graphing part. So again, your B is on the Y, -3. So you should put a dot right here. -3, because that's 0, -3. And then you're going to follow your instructions, your AM. That's where you're going to move. You're going to move from the -3. You're going to move 7 up and 1 to the right. It's called the slope, but I always say it's the move, where you make the move. Because when I move, you move just like that. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1. And if you could do another one, go ahead and do 7 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 over 1. And then what's backwards? The opposite, I mean, not backwards. The opposite is falling, right? Go down 7, but then to the left 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 to the left. Because if I went to the right, it's going to be like this, and you don't want that. You want actually a straight line. So this is the one you want right here. You don't want this. So there you go. All right. So your graph should look like that. It should be going up. See, it's going up. So go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and stop the recording. All right, so here's number 6. Okay, y is equal to -4x minus 6. Okay, so can I graph that? Well, let's write y equals mx plus b. Yep, the m is a number, the y is lined up, the x is lined up, and then there's your what is it? Your slope and your y-intercept, right? So remember the y-intercept, the starting point is 0, -6. So on your answer, make sure you put 0, -6. All right. So Sarah, Aileen, Jimmy, and Daniel, good job. Or just -6, whichever you want. That's fine. Okay. And then your M is delta Y over delta X, which is the change of Y over the change of X, which is what? Rise, right? Or fall, and then run, or run backwards. But what is it? What number is it? What's under the M? Yeah, -4. And what did I tell you? -4 over what? All the time. Is it -4 over -6? No. Yeah, no. It's not -4 over -6. -4 over 1. Very good. All right. So now let's go ahead and graph it. Now you don't. We did this last week, but you don't have to graph it here. You're gonna graph it on your graph paper, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this so you can see it, because I don't think you. Okay, so there you go. So there you go. 0, -6. This right here is on this line. Where's negative 6? So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 6 is right there. There's your 0, negative 6. Bam. Okay. Now you're going to, the M is the slope, but it's move, right? Let's go ahead and move. Start counting. Let's move. So what am I going to count? 4, it's negative 4. So what is that? Is that rise? No, it's not rise. It's a negative. So it's, you're falling. And then 1. All right, let's run. Positive. So you're going to go down 4 and positive 1 to the right. Just 1. And that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 to the right. And then keep going as far as you could go. And then what's the opposite of falling? Yeah, going up. And then you can't go to the right. You got to go to the, because we already went to the right. We're doing the opposite. That's going to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the left. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the left. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the left. And there's your line. See? It's going down because of this negative, the M. All right, that's it. Negative 4, 1. Negative 4, 1. And then the opposite, up 4, negative 1. Up 4, negative 1. I'm going to go ahead and pause it. So number 7, what we're doing again is we're writing y equals mx plus b. So if it's in this form, I could graph it. Okay, so again, draw the box, draw the m. See that? And then what's your m? Your m is 6 or 6 over 1. So I'm going to do this so I know where I'm moving. Change of y over change of x. Rise or fall, run or go backwards. Okay? Got that? So it's 6 over 1. 6 over 1. So am I rising or falling? Anybody? Rising or falling because it's positive?
You're rising.
Yeah, so I'm going to rise. I'm not falling. And then positive 1, I'm running straight. I'm running to the right. I'm running. All right, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1. There you go. So then here's the graph so you guys can copy in mind. You don't have to copy this. Okay, so again, where is it? Okay, it's on your negative 1, which is what? This is your y-intercept. The line's going to cross it, so it's 0, negative 1. 0, negative 1, which is negative 1 right here. Right there, 0, negative 1. That's your 0. So now you're going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And then the opposite, you're going to fall. Okay. So remember on Daniel, okay, it's not the first number. It's always the negative, the B right here. So make sure you copy this right here. Negative 1, you're starting with negative 1. And then down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the left. Down, and then it should be a straight line. Sorry, it's a little crooked. All right. So there you go with that. Okay. So there we go. And then make sure you go ahead and let me pause this real quick. All right, so I'm recording it. So the last one is y is equal to 2x. Again, you do the same thing. Can I graph it? Yeah, I can still graph it. It's in this form. Don't put no solution. Don't put no solution. Yeah, you could graph it. So what's your m? 2, right? M is the change of y over the change of x. Rise or fall, run forward or backwards, right? So what is it? 2 over 1. Yeah, 2 over 1. Remember, always over 1. So I'm going to go what? I'm going to rise because it's positive. And then I'm going to go forward. See that? I'm going to rise and then go forward. Okay? Rise and then go forward. So now, what's your starting point? Well, it's not your invisible 1 because there's not like an X. There's only invisible 1 when there's like a variable X and there's no number. Okay? Or Y. There's no number, it's an invisible 1. But when there's nothing, what do you think your starting point is? What do you think your starting point is? Nothing is, what number is nothing? 0, yeah, 0. Nada. So you're going to put 0, comma 0. So Aileen, you put 0, comma 2. Make sure you change it. If there's nothing, just put 0, comma 0. So this is 0, comma 0. All right, there's nothing. So your starting point is going to be where? So I'm going to go ahead and do the graphing. So your starting point is at your 0, comma 0, right in the middle. There it is. And how am I going to move? 2 up and 1 to the right. Again, 2 up. Why up? Because it's positive. And 1 to the right. 2 up, 1 to the right. 2 up, 1 to the right. 2 up, 1 to the right. And then backwards is 2 down, 1 to the left. 1, 2, left. 1, 2, left. All right, 1, 2, and then left. And then there's your graph going up. Okay? Got it? So you should follow my lead right there. That's your y-intercept. 0, comma 0. All right, and then 2 up because it's positive. All right, and so those are the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good job, you guys. Yes.